Right, coming up, how will you spend the final minutes of 2014? We'll tell you why Asia is the place to be this December 31st, right after the break. Welcome back. In just 2 weeks' time, we'll be saying goodbye to 2014. And while some of you are wondering where the time's all gone, others are getting ready to usher in 2015. And one popular way to do that is to join thousands of others in countdown celebrations.
If you like crowds, that is. But where will the best parties be this New Year's Eve? According to travel website TripAdvisor, these are some of the world's most popular destinations. Coming in at number 3, Paris, the city of love. New York City is just ahead. Of course, everyone loves Times Square. And number 1, London. I don't know, bit of a surprise for me. If you're in Asia, though, looking to celebrate without having to go too far away, our next guest has some ideas. Aaron Hung is from the travel website TripAdvisor. Good morning, Aaron. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, Alice.
So,
Morning.
Before we start talking about these party destinations, tell us about some of the trends you're seeing for 2015.
Well, we looked at the top search locations on our website, on TripAdvisor, looking at the global users. And the top 3 destinations you mentioned, London, New York, Paris, always been sort of perennial favorites. And we look at the whole number of all the global users on our site, of which there are 300 million on our site unique visitors every month. So we gather all the data, looking at where they are looking for in terms of information, in terms of hotels to stay in, things to do, specifically during the period of 27th of December to 4th of January. So getting a good gauge of where they are interested in researching the next trip for the new year. So we identified the top destinations.
Well, I mean, we were surprised with some of them.
I can say it. I'm surprised with London. Why would anyone want to count down there?
Yeah, I was going to say, what is it about these places at New Year's in particular? Because they are great to go and visit. I personally would choose to go in the summer because
yes, me
it's
too.
Pretty chilly in all 3 of those cities. But why has it been sort of picked? Why have they been picked out as the top 3 for New Year's?
Yeah, I think these locations, well, they are popular for the New Year, but also popular throughout the year. And we look at the number of tourists that go there. And we look at the forum pages, what our users are asking each other. So what do we do over the New Year, for example, in London or New York or Paris, or even Singapore? So we get other users suggesting to them, and we look at the things that are suggested in London, taking a boat cruise on the River Thames, look at the fireworks that come on during midnight, and most of the boats gather around Big Ben, gather around the London Eye. So imagine that backdrop, the lit up Big Ben against the skies with the fireworks going off in midnight.
Well, you mentioned Singapore, of course. Now, let's talk about the top 5 Asian cities to be in for New Year's. Let's go through them. So Bangkok, Thailand made it to the top of the list. Why Bangkok, regardless of everything that's been going on there?
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, anything that happens in a certain city, we find that if a city has a resilient reputation, providing that enjoyment, whether it's food or shopping, the culture, is engaging the historical sites. You look at the Wat Po, the Grand Palaces in Bangkok. It's always been a top favorite in Asian destinations. So we look at global users, Bangkok came up top. A little bit different when we looked at Singaporean users. Singaporean users looking at where they would go during the new year. Slightly different. Similar, but the ranking was slightly different.
Where they? Well, are you going to tell us where they wanted to go?
Of course. When we looked at the Singaporean users on TripAdvisor, the top 5 Asian destinations, number 1 was Taipei, then followed by Hong Kong, then surprisingly, Singapore.
Why Taipei?
Yeah, because Taipei is, I suppose, not one that people think about so often in Singapore. But
at least for New Year's
I've
too.
been. It's it's a fantastic place. What goes on there at New Year's?
Yeah, Taipei has been a really popular destination recently. It's a lot of attention. Is receiving a lot of attention. Look at the global users. The top 5 Asian destinations favored by the global users for the New Year period. Taipei came 5th. First for Singapore. 5th out of Asia for Taipei. So making it into the top 25 for destinations for global users is quite an achievement. So Taipei recently has a lot of promotions and the city is opening up. The culture, the food, the shopping. We see every year also the fireworks at the Taipei 101. where they do pyrotechnics around the building. So all that has been gathering attention. And of course, a lot of tourists now come from the Asia Pacific area, and going to somewhere closer is also a preference.
All right, well, a bit of atmosphere there as well. Now, the next one we're looking at is in the Asia Pacific region, Sydney. Now, one of the benefits, of course, is that you'll be one of the first people to ring in the new year. But do you think it's likely to have had a bit of shine taken off it as a destination after the hostage incident that we saw just yesterday? Is that likely to deter people at all?
Yeah, I think that was a very unfortunate incident, and our thoughts go out to the hostages and the families. Destinations that have resilient reputations, again, remain on the list, and I think one-off incidents like that will not deter people from going. Full details of the fact we will find out, but we're pretty confident that the allure of the city, the allure of the fireworks on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, in the Sydney Harbour by the Opera House, will keep attracting tourists.
And I found incidents like this almost kind of creates a sense of solidarity and unity, and so people kind of unite in that celebration. I found that after 9/11 in New York. So
yeah, exactly.
There's kind of a silver lining there. Now let's talk about Singapore. Number 3 on the Asian list. Tell us what's the draw. Wait, did you agree? Lonely Planet named Singapore like the top destination for 2015.
Well,
Would you agree
I'm not
with
surprised.
that?
I think it's quite exciting here. But I mean, what are your because we know Singapore well, obviously. But what are the highlights for Singapore around this time of year?
Yeah, so again, we looked at the forums. I just checked the forum this morning and looking at what people are talking about, what they are going to see. So one of the top things that I mentioned are fireworks in the Marina Bay area. Many were talking about fireworks and parties on Siloso Beach, the beaches in Sentosa, and going out with families, friends, and visiting friends along Orchard. I think one of the appeal of Singapore, well, we live here and we kind of see, what a great city it is, and it's becoming much better and better every year.
We do know how to throw a good party.
Exactly. A pricey destination, though, if you're coming from overseas.
That's right.
Would you agree?
I'm sorry?
A pricey destination if you're coming from overseas, though, would you agree?
That's sort of our sort of common and personal perception. However, we looked at the prices of hotels over the New Year. And usually over New Year's Eve, most hotels increase their prices because demands go up, so therefore more people want to stay. The hoteliers push the prices up a bit. So we looked at how the prices have changed during the New Year period against the rest of the year. And surprisingly, well, almost every destination had their prices go up. And they range from as little as 3.5% to something like 200%. Hong Kong topped the list. Their prices went up by 200% or are going up by 200% over New Year's Eve.
Well, it's funny you mention that because Hong Kong's actually our final destination. What can you look forward to in Hong Kong?
Yeah, on that price level, surprisingly, Singapore's prices are expected to go up by 3.5% only.
Compared to 200%?
Compared to 200%.
Wow.
It's actually the city that is seeing the least increases in hotel average nightly rates.
Right.
Well, real quickly, just some tips on, it's kind of last minute now if someone wants to book a vacation to some sort of destination. Do you have any tips for kind of booking ahead of time for events like this?
Yeah, of course. Well, I always look at who to go with. I think the place is important, who you go with, loved ones, great friends, families. Then once you've decided on the destination, then look at where the good deals are. We believe always going to TripAdvisor because of the price search function. We look at a certain hotel, I like this hotel, read the reviews.
I thought it was more the reviews, because then you can compare the reviews.
The reviews tell me this is a great hotel to stay. Then I can see the prices that are fed in from all the online travel agencies. Then it tells me which one to book from. So,
all right. Well, I'm excited.
Some
New Year's right
food for thought there for anyone who's thinking about a last-minute vacation.
That's right.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us on the show this morning. Great to have you. Aaron Home from TripAdvisor on its top 5 picks in Asia for New Year's Eve.
I know I'll be celebrating with MediaCorp, right? We have a big party at the float, so that'll be fun.
I am glad to say, although I'm envious of you, I'm glad to say that I'm going to be spending it overseas. I'm one of those destinations.
He's going to the destination. Anyway, that's a wrap for us today.